What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and not too long ago, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev was announced to take place in March to headline. I believe it's going to be UFC 313, and this is exciting because, in my opinion, this is a fight that should have happened right after UFC 300, right after Alex Pereira beat Jamahal Hill. The nice guy he should have fought should have been Magomed Ankalaev, but unfortunately, we didn't get it for two fights. Pereira fought Yuri again, and then he fought Khalil Roundtree, which made no sense. It was a good fight, but it made no sense. And Magomed, they get past Alexander Rakic, so now we have nothing in the way, and we're finally going to get to see this fight. And we've heard Magomed Ankalaev talk a bunch of trash to Alex Pereira, and one of the things that he keeps on saying is that he's not going to try to wrestle Alex Pereira. He's going to attempt to knock Alex Pereira out, similar to what Jamahal Hill was saying. And I don't think that Magomed Ankalaev is bluffing here. I actually think that he is going to try to strike with Pereira based on what we've seen in the past from him. I mean, in 2024, where he had two fights, he didn't attempt a single takedown. He fought Johnny Walker in January, and he was able to get a knockout over him, but at no point did he try to actively get the fight to the ground. Same thing versus Alexander Rakic. He had no takedown attempts. It was actually Rakic who attempted one takedown on him, but he was unsuccessful. So I don't believe that Magomed is going to try to take down Alex Pereira in his previous fights. We've seen that he loves to control the center of the ring. The center of the octagon. He loves to control the pace of the fight. But once the tide of the fight starts kind of slipping away from his fingers, that's where you see him sort of try to grapple with his opponents so that he is able to get the advantage over them again. We've seen this against when Magomed fought Thiago Santos. Thiago Santos hurt him with a big shot, and then after that, Magomed just kind of, want to stall out the fight a bit and just go with the path of least resistance, which was just hold him, control him, and don't really take any more damage. And obviously against Jan Blachowicz was winning the fight. Arguably, he was hurting him real bad with the leg kicks, and he was finding some success with his punches too. And then Magomed, he went to his wrestling. He started taking Jan Blachowicz down so that he could take the advantage of the fight again and finish the fight strong. But if he goes into this fight with Alex Pereira and tries that same strategy to where he's trying to control the fight with his striking, as soon as it doesn't go his way, he's going to try to grapple. I don't think that's going to work, because if Pereira is able to get you hurt, or when he's starting to get the momentum of the fight back his way, he's very dangerous. We've seen him put guys who are very durable in Jamahal Hill and Yuri Prochazka out with one shot. I mean, both those guys were taking bombs from each other and from other fighters in the light heavyweight division, and against Pereira, they couldn't take any of his shots. And I think that if Pereira is able to hurt Magomed, that could be the end of the fight. I mean, not only is he dangerous because he can just put you out with one shot, but he's actually a dangerous finisher too. We've seen how he was able to finish Israel Adesanya in a very short sequence. With Yuri Prochazka in their first fight, he dropped him and immediately finished him. As soon as he has you hurt, it's not going to take a lot for him to just straight out get you out of there. But as for how I see the fight going, first of all, I've heard a lot of people say that Alex Pereira struggles when he's fighting a southpaw. He struggles a lot more when he's fighting southpaws versus orthodox. And I looked at the stats, I looked at his UFC fights that at least won 3 rounds or more against southpaw and orthodox fighters. And in his first UFC fight, the guy he fought, he was trying to grapple, and that fight only barely made it past 1 round. It was finished in the second round quickly, so I'm not considering that fight. I'm not considering the Sean Strickland fight because that was only 1 round of data. Same with Jamahal Hill. So the fights I'm going to be, looking at to see whether he struggles with southpaws more than orthodox is his fight versus Khalil Roundtree, because Khalil was a southpaw, and his fight versus Bruno Silva, another southpaw, and both those fights went over 3 rounds. 3 rounds or more. And then for an orthodox opponent, I looked at Jan Blachowicz to see the stats of that fight, because then you got Israel Adesanya, who's a switch hitter, so he's gonna be constantly switching stances. He's not gonna fight you the whole time in orthodox. He's gonna be switching you and hitting you from both sides. Same with Yuri Prochazka, so I'm not including those two guys. But let's take a look at the stats. And here it is for the southpaw fighters, Khalil Roundtree and then Bruno Silva. And then here it is against the orthodox Jan Blachowicz. So as you can see, it's very, very close. I wouldn't say that, he does better against one stance versus the other. He's still able to be very effective against both styles of opponents. And I think that he showed that he does do a lot better against southpaws in the Khalil Roundtree fight. Yes, early on, he did lose the first 2 rounds. But then in round 3 and 4, he showed that he was able to effectively avoid strikes. He was able to win the fight not only with his left hook, but with his jab, with his cross. He didn't really utilize too much leg kicks, but he was able to use body shots, like I said, jabs and crosses and different weapons against the southpaw. And I think that he is getting better at dealing with that stance. But one thing that Magomed Ankalaev is going to bring to the striking game is body shots. He loves to go down to the body of his opponents. He attacks it very well. He's got a very good cross to the body. And I think against Pereira, he should utilize the southpaw body kick too. Khalil Roundtree, he did land one body kick that seemed to, slightly take the wind out of Alex Pereira for a little bit. But then he didn't really go back to it, really. And Alex Pereira isn't going to take you down. He's not going to attempt takedowns. So why not just blast body kicks, slow him down, take away some of that power and some of that energy away from him, so that if you want to knock him out, it's going to be a lot easier. And also, that's a great way to take away his leg kicks, because every time he's going to be throwing that, outside leg kick, you punish him with a body kick, then he's going to be worried about that leg kick, and he's going to be thinking twice about throwing it because he knows that something is coming back his way. And something that both guys are going to have to be worried about is, for Pereira, is to not rush in too carelessly against Magomed Ankalaev, because he is a counterpuncher. And if you sense that you have him hurt, you could potentially run into something which is going to cause a greater impact, and that could potentially pull you down. And for Magomed, what he has to be careful about is sometimes he does go into the orthodox stance, or even in the southpaw stance, he kind of reaches for his punches sometimes, which is dangerous because Pereira can catch you in between your punches. But Magomed actually has made an adjustment to this in his most recent fight, where he actually added a spinning back elbow after he overextends with a punch, and he almost catches Rakic with a spinning back elbow because he anticipates that Rakic is going to try to counter him. And this is a great move from Ankalaev. We've seen Pereira use this before, but with spinning back fist, and he could potentially catch Pereira like this too. But overall, I think that this is a very competitive fight. I think Magomed Ankalaev is a much greater threat to Pereira than Jamal Hill was. I think Ankalaev is way better than Jamal Hill. I think that, Pereira is just a nightmare matchup for Yuri. And I think that maybe Ankalaev might not be able to beat a guy like Yuri, but he does present some interesting threats to a guy like Alex Pereira. And it's going to be very interesting to find out what happens. Right now, I think that Pereira is going to win. I think he is going to be able to stop Magomed before the full distance. But I might change my prediction. I don't know. It's still very early from the fight, but I think that Magomed Ankalaev should definitely use his full arsenal in this fight. Don't wait until you get hurt to go for, the grappling. Start that right away. Implement that into your full strategy and give yourself the best chance of beating a guy like Alex Pereira. But let me know what you guys think about this fight. Thank you for watching, and God bless.